Welcome, race fans. It is Monday Night Mania, brought to you by KMA Racing, a brand new series starting up this week. And this week we are indeed running Atlanta. Going to be some good racing out here. Taking a quick look at that qualifying grid. Sitting out there in first position, we've got Damon Gilbert with a 29.839. Travis Browder, second position with a 29.979. Third place belonging to Ronald Hartfeld with a 30 flat. Pat Rouchet with a 30.030. And rounding out our top five for opening night is Edward Bray with a 30.051. Mark Jackson running along in sixth position. James Brown sitting in seventh. Lee Staples in eighth. John Pansula in ninth. And Sean Dewar starting back in 10th place tonight. Great top 10 out there. I tell you what, sitting off in 11th position, we've got Anthony Poston. Richard Dix for position 12. 13th belonging to Reagan Parent. Haven't seen Reagan for quite some time. John Woodruff back in position 14th. Ryan Kuhn, good friend of Reagan Parent. These two drivers will be working together tonight. Everett Lane back in 16th position. Donald Stewart sitting off in 17th, and our Friday night host, Greg McClendon, position 18. 19th, we've got Dave Acacia. Gary Whitmer Jr. back in 20th. 21st, we've got Ivan Garcia. Jason Russo, our Tuesday night sponsor. Ronald Klein, winner of last night's pad race, sitting in 24th. Near the rear of the field, we have got Joel Guy back in 26th. Danny Rudy back in 27th. And Chris Hogue near the rear of the field for position 27. All right, ladies and gentlemen, getting ready to kick off 125 laps of Atlanta in our Monday Night Mania series. Big shout out there to Gary Whitmer and GW Graphics for keeping the lights turned on Monday night. Pace car is in. Damon Gilbert kicking us off. Side by side with Travis Browder with the number 15 on the inside, running very tight with Travis Browder early on. Nice, good start. All drivers very well behaved on that start. How about it, Greg McClendon? Have you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, how you doing? Didn't make it into the race, but you're going to be up here helping me.
We're doing good tonight, Scott. How's it going tonight, bud?
Doing very good. Glad to have you up here in the booth with me. So this is Atlanta. Have you got a copy on me?
Absolutely, Scott. Go ahead.
Okay, so this is Atlanta. We are kicking off a 12-week series here on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. What do you think of that upcoming schedule?
Oh, I love it. First, the fact that it's in alphabetical order, that is really, really cool. It's unique, and I really think it gives guys an opportunity to get ahead of this new build a little bit. It's been a tricky thing since we've had this thing unleashed on us pretty much, but for the most part, if guys will learn how to drive the cars, and you're going to probably hear this as a recurring theme, you have to learn how to drive the cars. You know, gone are the days in earlier builds where you can just go pretty much all out and not worry about things like tire wear and items of that nature. But now it's all about the driver and your ability to drive the car.
A little bit more of a challenge that has been created by iRacing. You know, and there's still going to be good days. There's going to be bad days. You know, we ran out here the other night for 188 laps at Daytona or at Talladega in the 2011. One caution. Last night at Auto Club, the boys couldn't run for shit. Ended up with 10 cautions. What are your predictions for Atlanta in itself?
Well, with 125 laps in an Atlanta race, I'm begging to think that there's going to be at least a little bit of patience, which is what we would like to see early in a race. This is a long time to get to the end of the race, and there's no need to use your equipment up or, you know, burn your tires off too early or get caught in a bad cycle. Let's just see what your car can do, see where you're most comfortable with your car, and adjust on it as the run goes along. Actually, this is a fixed set, but it's a lot different. You have to be patient, and like I said, with this build, it's all about the driver now. So these guys are a disciplined group, and so far so good.
Now we have got a lot of names out here that have become very familiar with KMA. We've got Mark Jackson, Pat Richey, James Brown, Gary Whitmer Jr. joining us out here tonight. Our sponsor, we have got Jason Russo, our Tuesday night sponsor. We've got our Friday night sponsor, Greg McClendon, in the booth. Have you got any predictions for a top 3 out here tonight?
Oh boy, that's kind of a hard one. There's some good ones out there. Mark Jackson's always a very tough individual to deal with on these type of tracks. Ryan Kuhn, I tell you what, I was very impressed with him last season for the limited time that he was able to race within KMA. He's a very good one, but as I said before, we have a lot of great drivers here, and it's kind of hard to put a finger on one, but Mark Jackson and Ryan Kuhn are 2 guys that come to mind immediately.
Well, I tell you what, one other driver that I'm going to keep a very close eye on this season is Travis Browder. Right now, Damon Gilbert up there in front, but I do believe last season Travis Browder did win one of the Monday, Tuesday, Friday seasons. Very young driver, but very adept and very skilled.
Oh my goodness, Travis Browder! I gotta tell you, I've known this guy since I got to iRacing, and I think I heard it once before. He hates losing more than he does winning races, and I honestly believe that. He's a great driver, and there's times where he is very, very dangerous. He comes into the race with not a lot of fanfare. You may want to watch out, because this he's got his game face on and he's ready to go.
But you know, Greg, something these drivers have absolutely got to remember out here to win the season. I mean, that's really cool. You come in, you win opening night, you win second race, you win third race, fourth and fifth race. You miss because of a obligation otherwise, or you wreck out. Even worse, to win the season, consistency and attendance is going to be a key factor.
Oh, absolutely. We only have 12 races on this schedule, and unlike iRacing, we don't feature drop weeks, so every point and every position counts. So it would behoove everybody to make as many races as they possibly can to ensure that they have an opportunity to get into the chase.
Now, talking about these seasons, Monday Night Series brought to you by GW Graphics. Tuesday Night Series brought to you by TNT and Pro Automotive and Jason Russo. Now, our Friday Night Series is brought to us by Greg McClendon, employed by Steak and Shake. Tell us a little bit about that Friday night and Steak and Shake.
Well, Friday nights are a unique night. We run a car on Friday nights with open setups, just to put everything back in the hands of the drivers. But what I like about Steak and Shake is you got $4 in your pocket ringing around. You can get some coins together, get that loose change together. You come over to Steak and Shake, we got not 10, not 20, not 30, but we got a lot of different menu items on our $4 list. You can get a steak burger, you can get a double steak burger, you can get our chili, oh my goodness, the list goes on and on. So to get a big variety of items, Steak and Shake is where it's at.
Steak and Shake, a favored restaurant of my wife. Right there within the family dinner price range as well, and comfortable atmosphere, very clean restaurants. Big shout out there to Steak and Shake.
Appreciate it, Scott. These guys, they do it right and they do it well.
Pat Richey off into the grass, back through pit road. Probably got a penalty on that one there. Pat Richey able to save it, but that's going to cost Pat Richey several positions, falling down to 15th, coming around that apron. 16th, trying to get up speed, will lose one more position to Jason Russo. Dave Acacia into the wall behind Pat Richey. Couple of drivers having almost identical problems out here. Pat and Dave in trouble early on.
Well, Scott, once again, throttle control is key, and these guys are starting to get pretty loose out there, and once again, you can't mat the throttle until you get pretty much straight, because any other time you got to come around. So these guys are going to learn that, and it's a very long race. We're only on lap, let's see, 16, 17, yeah, lap 16, lap 17 now, and it's very important that these guys realize that this is an abrasive racetrack. You have to be able to take care of your tires.
And if you don't take care of your tires, you're going to feel that pain. Donald Stewart, another favored driver out here last week, actually winning 3 races in a row. Richard Dix off track, back up onto the track. Now this white line here, Greg, drivers can go below that white line if they so choose to, but oftentimes the problem is they'll come back up onto that track off of that white line. They'll bob their car a little bit and completely lose control.
Well, if I had to do a quick quote of a movie or of a song, if you want to ride, don't ride the white line. That white line can be your friend. It can be your enemy really quick. Most people try to, you can get track position using that. However, you get those lefts on that white line or below it too much, and you're going to come around, especially on worn tires.
Lap 18 of 125, 107 to go. Looking at the GW graphic, number 5, Gary Whitmer Jr., showing his support for Pad. We had our monthly race for Pad last night. Ronald Klein, winner there underneath caution. Big shout out there to Ronald Klein. Now, speaking of GW graphics and this Monday night series, Becky Whitmer, mother of GW Gary Whitmer Jr., wife of Gary Whitmer Sr., both members of KMA Racing. Now, she's got something really special going on for these seasons. The winner of each night, Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, the winner of each season, the Monday, Tuesday, Friday season, the top dog at the end of the 12 weeks, Becky's going to set them up with a mini quilt. It's going to be black and white, such as the checkered flag. It's going to have their name on it, all the tracks that have ran, and the dates. So that's going to be really cool and very generous of Becky Whitmer.
Oh, my goodness. Let me give a quick shout out to old Becky. Becky, baby. That is so cool that you're doing this for KMA TV and KMA as a group. You guys have a great group there. I have a hell of a lot of respect for Gary Whitmer Jr. and Sr. I've raced them both on the racetrack for quite some time, and I have an utmost respect for those gentlemen. And Becky, it's wonderful that you're doing this for the group, and from your Friday night sponsor, I truly appreciate it.
Also, a quick reminder, right now we are doing the auction of the pad quilt made by Becky Whitmer, done in a soft color purple with the pad logos. Very beautiful, full-size quilt. The link for the auction on eBay has been set up onto Facebook on the KMA Racing page as well as the pad page. Make sure you get your bids in, ladies and gentlemen. This auction will not be going on very long.
Yep, Scott, that's a great. But I'm looking at a couple of battles on the racetrack. Looks like our pole sitter David Gilbert is getting very, very loose off the corner. That allows Mark Jackson to close to the rear bumper, and they're closing in on the number 18 of Travis Browder.
Edward Bray, we caught it just barely on camera, but Edward Bray getting a little bit of a nick. We're going to back that up and see exactly what happened. So we are going to be on replay mode here for just a minute. Looks like James Brown here on replay. James Brown, Edward Bray making contact. Edward Bray going for a side down the backstretch into the wall. Back up on track, spinning, but regaining control. No caution is thrown. Now, I'm not going to sit there and study that replay to see if it was Ed or if it was James. But nonetheless, Edward and James Brown making contact, sending Edward into a bad spin, putting him back into 18th position. But the damage on the car, not that terrible.
Well, I'm looking at it right now, and he's got a little left rear damage going on there. That may or may not hurt him aerodynamically as the number 20 car of Dave Casey closes in. I think they have a reset here that they can use, and yes, it's definitely affecting the 66. He's very, very loose going into the corner there, and Dave's able to drive right underneath him and make the pass.
Costing Edward Bray quite a bit of speed. Pretty sure Edward Bray is going to try to stay out, though, as long as he possibly can. Don't want to use that reset up too early here at Atlanta.
Oh, absolutely. He will roll around, and long as they have to, will pit a cycle around with everybody else. He doesn't want to lose the lead lap, so he will be staying out there protecting his equipment as long as possible.
Travis Browder out there on that front line, sitting in position 6. We are on sitting in position 1, leading 6 laps. Mark Jackson hot on his tail for position 2, and Damon Gilbert sitting in 3rd position.
Oh, Mark had a little bit of a problem on the entry of that corner, allowing Damon Gilbert to come off the corner and pretty much put Mark back down to 3rd.
We caught a glimpse of that on our KMA TV broadcast. Damon Gilbert definitely having the upper hand right there. Mark Jackson still. Caution is out. Looking at the number 21 of Danny Rudy right up into that wall. There it is, folks. Plain as day. No contact with any other driver, just Danny Rudy and the wall, causing a spin out, trying to do everything he can to save it, but no such luck there for Danny Rudy. 3 times into the wall for the number 21, bringing out our first caution on lap 28.
Well, it appears that he just, basically his car just kept washing up the racetrack until he ran out of real estate, and of course, coming back down, and that brought out the first caution of the day. It was a good first run.
Now, unfortunately, at that same time, though, Sean Dewar coming back up on track. Different incident, but same amount of time right there. Coming up off that track into the contact with 0-1. Sean Dewar taking a hard hit to that inside wall. Dual incidents is happening right there on lap 28.
I heard in the TeamSpeak chatter a little commotion there. Was wondering what that was all about, but upon reviewing a replay, I could see that there was a secondary incident, and that's basically I wouldn't driver awareness, but you know, it's kind of hard when the guy comes up in front of you. He's not going exactly where you think he was going to go, and come up and cause a lot of damage to a couple of cars.
Tough break there for those couple of drivers. You know, paying attention is so important, but sometimes, Greg, no matter what you do, there is just absolutely nothing that you can do right.
Oh, absolutely. You know, this is racing at the end of the day. We've all been in those, you know, pickles that, you know, we had no control over, but all of a sudden we found ourselves a part of.
Ryan Kuhn out here tonight in the number 19, making his reappearance here with KMA Racing. How about it, Ryan Kuhn? Have you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Long time no see.
Yeah, it's been a while. I'm back and better than ever.
All right, well, we got a couple of fans out there for you. Bayside 2950 saying Kuhn is back. So are you back, sir, to win another season?
Hopefully back. Hopefully come home, get a solid finish here, top 3. My goal is a top 3 coming into here. I'd like to thank my new race team, race agent, huge help. Glenn, Grant, everyone involved, and they've been a huge help to me in this new opportunity I've gotten.
All right, now give us the ins and outs of Atlanta here.
It's mainly about consistency. You just gotta hold her wide and hope for the best. And on these long runs, you just kind of gotta easy with the throttle, and it gets loose on a long run coming off the corners, and it's really fun. This is my wheelhouse right now with these this new build Xfinity, and driving it sideways. I love it. It's so fun. Best thing out here.
Now talk to me about your competition up there. Travis Browder, Mark Jackson, and Damon Gilbert. You got some pretty stiff competition.
Yeah, I ran with Damon in official. He's really fast. Travis, we used to race all the time. He's fast. Mark, he's fast. We raced all the time. We got a good field here today.
All righty. Good luck to you, Ryan Kuhn.
Thank you.
So I tell you what, Greg, looking at that top four right there with Travis, Mark, Damon, and Ryan, that is going to be some pretty stiff competition. Ought to be some really good racing.
You know, those four guys that you just mentioned there, Scott, all of them are very fast racers, and it wouldn't surprise me a bit that we could see the four of these guys mixing it up for the win later on down the road.
Lap 30 of 100, lap 31 of 125, 94 to go. One lead change. Damon Gilbert leading 20, Travis Browder leading 11, and that is your one lead change right there between Damon and Travis. High hopes out here for Travis Browder as the cars begin to double up. We're going back to hopefully a long run of green flag racing. Lap 31 of 125. They were almost right there at their fuel window. Green pit stops. Hoping to see him out here tonight.
I think we're going to be able to do this, Scott, because I think these guys, you guys just ran a 188-lap race last night with one caution. I think these guys, after this caution, may get it. I'm going to knock on some wood right now just to be sure of that, but I really think that these guys will settle in, and we will get at least one good green flag run in.
Going in-car camera with Lee Staples on this restart. Lee Staples currently sitting back in 8th position. He started out in 8th position tonight. Pace car is in. Very nice restart here, taking lap 32. Looks a lot different when you're in that car camera, doesn't it, Greg?
Oh, absolutely. You can pretty much feel everything, and it's a lot different. That 01 got a pretty good run off the corner. As you can see, Lee Staples going into 3. He's kind of gradually applying that throttle coming off the corner. You don't really want to match it until you really get onto the straightaway, and as he's going into turn 1, he's off the gas and allowing this car to drift up a little bit, but just tapping the throttle a little bit, coming off the corners, getting pretty good grip there.
Not really a whole lot of brakes used out here, though.
No, not really. Not in this car. It's just basically just, throttle play pretty much for the most part. Lee Staples getting a good run on that AC/DC car of John Pinella.
James Brown in the Cora 00. James 00 Brown, Cora Championship Online Racing Association. James sitting up there in 6th position. Started out here in 7th, up one spot, doing a really good job. And if you ask James how he feels, he'll tell you he feels good.
And Scott, I have to apologize. I butchered John Pensula's name there on the last take there.
I have butchered plenty of names. My name's been butchered plenty of times. It does happen. But you gotta love those guys with those easy to pronounce names, like Richard Dix. Richard Dix sitting back in position 15. Richard doing a good job tonight, losing only 3 spots here on lap 35, down in 15th position, but Richard driving the wheels off it.
Oh, this is very entertaining to watch.
A lot of traffic up there in front of Richard. Now, we were talking last night, Greg, about the differences between the 2.5 mile speedway, such as Daytona and Talladega, where you're more driver against driver against driver. But out here at Atlanta, last night over at Auto Club, Texas, Richmond, you're not really driver against driver per se. You're more driver against the track and driver against yourself, because the key to winning the race, as Ryan mentioned, is consistency of a lap.
Absolutely, Scott. There's a few tracks within iRacing that I consider to be what I call tire tracks. And you have to manage your equipment. You have to be able to manage every aspect of the race. But I'm a tire freak myself, so this build is right within my wheelhouse. But you have to be able to maintain your equipment in this build. You know, like I said, gone are the days that you can just, you know, kind of man it around and do whatever. But now it's all about the driver.
Richard Dix in a heated little battle here with the number 5 of Gary Whitmer, battling for 14th position. Both drivers doing a very good job. Both drivers trying to get up to Pat Rouchet, sitting up in 13th, and Donald Stewart and Sean Dewar for 11th and 12th. Damon Gilbert retaking that lead, leading his 24th lap of the night.
Hey, Scott, I'm sitting back here looking at some of the end cards of some of the drivers, and it appears that a lot of them are still over driving some of these corners here. I'm hearing a lot of abuse of tires. That's going to come back to bite a lot of these guys late in the run, so we may see that loose coming off a 4 condition. The guys need to maybe back it down a cycle and start thinking about their tire wear.
Well, you know, that's a lot of the problem we had out here last night at Auto Club. Not so much car against car contact, but one driver would come down into that corner and that ass end would just swing right out about it. And there's really only one way to prevent that, and that is to slow it down. Going into those corners, you slow down, you lose a little bit of speed. You know, it's a catch-22 right there for sure.
Well, you know, I like your analogy there, Scott. You get a little short-term gain there by not wrinkling your fenders by getting out of the gas. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to preserve your race car, you don't put it in a position where you can, get damage or whatever. You figure out what you need to do to get your car better, or make it, whatever driving style adjustment you need to make to get yourself better. That's what's going to, make this thing a lot better in the long run. But I still see a lot of guys over driving right now.
It's so easy to overdrive it because you almost get into a panic here. Looking at the right side tire well of Travis Browder as he climbs up the rear end of Mark Jackson. This is where they get to the overdriving. Travis is almost there. He's almost there. I think I can. Gives it just a little bit more punch. And next thing you know, you're overdriving it. Looking on forward to Ryan Kuhn and Damon Gilbert. Very heated battle here for first place.
Yeah, those two guys have been, Mr. Gilbert's been on the pole. He's been up front since the beginning, but Mr. Ryan Kuhn is starting to show his mettle as he's putting move on the 68 car as we're trying to go into one.
Throttle control, knowing your marks, knowing where you got to be, when you got to turn it. That is what it is all about.
Well, I think I may have mentioned to you earlier in the pre-race that this Ryan Kuhn, he is no joke. He did a very awesome job in KMA last season, and I don't expect anything less from him, and he's going for a pass right now.
He won't get side by side with the number 68. Making that pass successful, and he is clear of the 68. Now, Greg, talk to me about the lines here. It seems that the drivers are running more of a qualifying line. On Talladega, we stay down there on that inside lane. On the short tracks like Martinsville, a lot of drivers will stay up on that up lane. Here at Atlanta, they seem to be using just about every bit of this track.
Well, at some point, as the tires wear, you're going to look for any grip anywhere you can get it, and it may not be at the bottom of the racetrack, you know, because that may be the warmest part of the racetrack. You're looking for, you know, spaces and, you know, places on the racetrack that you can actually get grip.
Caution is out. Looking at Reagan Parrott.
Caution on the racetrack.
Looking at Reagan Parrott. Now we're going to back this up, folks, because again, we had two duplicate things going on. We had one driver off into the grass. I do believe that was Ivan Garcia as we try to get those camera angles honed in. And indeed, that was Ivan Garcia that basically put all this to an effect. Ivan Garcia up into the wall, ricocheting off that wall, down on track, through the grass, back up on track, luckily missing Dave Acacia, but narrowly just by a hair. Tough break there for Ivan Garcia, bringing out our second caution of the night. Ivan Garcia, a good driver, but I tell you what, exactly what you had predicted happened. Going in-car camera with Ivan as he takes that ride. There will be no repair in that vehicle of the number 72 of Ivan Garcia. He will be in a flat-out reset, that is for sure. Travis Browder in pit row along with Ryan Kuhn and Mark Jackson. Well, as much talking as we've been doing with Ryan Kuhn is up there on that front row. Now, how about that, Greg? Are you still with us, Greg? I might have lost my co-announcer there, Greg McClendon. Mark Jackson sitting back in second position. How about it, Mark Jackson? Have you got a copy?
Hi, Scott.
Well, how's Atlanta treating you?
Man, this track is slick, slick, slick. Kind of like your nickname.
There you go, there you go. Now, what do we do about it when it's slick? Tell us all about it.
Well, you know, we're going kind of hard and heavy here at the first part of the run, and then you just got to kind of manage the tire. I'm pretty comfortable with it so far. I've seen a couple of guys get a little too far down that white line and get sideways. I did it myself, just managed not to get in too much trouble. I got into a little skirmish there with Browder. I was pushing a little too hard and got myself up in the outside wall before that first caution come out. So we had to go in there and beat and bang on the fender a little bit. I think we'll be okay, though. We're going to settle down, settle in, and see if we can run the rest of these 75 laps out.
All right, we'll copy that. You are looking good out there in the America flag. Tell us all about that paint job.
Absolutely. My sponsor, John Hedrick, Over the Top Paints and Designs. Got something new and exciting, man. If any of you guys out there watching on the guys and girls out there watching on the broadcast, if you need a die-cast car, custom die-cast car of your iRacing paint job, just contact Hedrick. He's going to hook you up, man.
All righty, sounds pretty cool. Going to have to check into that myself. All right, Mark Jackson, you're up in second place. Take a look around at your competition and tell me what you think.
Well, we got some of the best up there. Browder, Kuhn, Russo. So we're just going to try to hang on and stay out of trouble. Try to keep our track position, but it's going to be tough.
All righty, copy that. Good luck to you, Mark Jackson. All righty, how about it, Greg? Have we got your back? All right, we may have lost Greg McClendon. We're going to keep him on radio, though. Getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here on Monday night. This is Atlanta, going to be running Atlanta on Tuesday as well. Friday coming. Tuesday, we're going to be running the trucks. Friday, we're going to be running the Cup cars. Taking lap 50 of 125. 75 laps to go. Ryan Kuhn, Mark Jackson, Travis Browder, Ronald Hartfeld, Jason Russo, our top 5 drivers. And away goes the number 19. Mark Jackson in line in front of Jason Russo in the number 14. Jason Russo to the outside trying to make a move on Mark Jackson. Jason Russo having to let out of that accelerator, going to cost him a little bit of footage there. Mark Jackson getting very close up to that top wall up track.
I'm back, Scott, from my pause from the cause.
All right, there you are, Greg. You had me worried a little bit. Now, we just got back from our second caution of the night, watching Ivan Garcia do exactly what you had warned us about. We are back under Green Flag Racing with Ryan Kuhn, Travis Browder, Mark Jackson, and Jason Russo sitting up there in the front.
Well, we're on lap 54 of 125 right now, so I'm still having visions of green flag dancing in my head here. I'm thinking that these guys, I'm hoping that they got the cautions out of their system and they can make the adjustments that they need to in this race and not be so greedy on that throttle.
Actually, very impressed with tonight as I'm keeping a close eye here on Jason Russo and Travis Browder and Mark Jackson. Very good race for position 2. But they've got Ronald Hartfeld and Sean Dewar in their rear view mirror. Jason keeps getting a run up there onto the rear end of the number 3. They get into the corner, and then Jason loses that momentum. Now what that tells me is Mark Jackson might be a little bit stronger in the corner, but Jason Russo a little bit faster on the stretch.
Well, yeah, Mark's a little more aggressive going into the corners, but in my experience, people that drive it that deep, especially with a build like this, that may be playing into Jason Russo's hands. By being easier going into the corner, he may be able to eventually overtake Mark on a longer run.
Ryan Kuhn with a 1 second lead out of Travis Browder.
Well, I'm afraid that they better not, they better get their items together here because I've seen this display from Ryan before. He can check out on you really, really quick, and as he stated earlier during the interview, this build is right into his wheelhouse, so he's fully demonstrating that now as he started back in the field to march his way to the front.
It's almost like he has a different engine in that car and a different set of tires. Travis Browder, Mark Jackson, Jason Russo seemingly to be a little bit more evenly matched as Ryan Kuhn continues to pull away.
We've only had a few green flag laps under this set of tires here, so you know, I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but I think the real battle is going to be between the 18-3 as well as the 14 of Jason Russo. Eventually, if they can catch Ryan Kuhn first.
Well, at this rate, I don't think they're going to catch Ryan Kuhn. Ryan Kuhn is continuing to pull away. Right now at 1.3 seconds out in front of Travis Browder. Jason Russo slipping back to 1.8 back, losing the draft and momentum he had up against Travis Browder and Mark Jackson.
Ryan Kuhn is a very experienced driver and a very a keen driver. He basically goes about his business pretty much like everybody else, but he practices this a lot more than probably most, and it's fully being displayed here as he's continuously lap after lap hitting his mark and extending his lead.
Mark Jackson close to the rear end of Travis Browder. Mark Jackson looking like he's setting up for a pass on Travis Browder. Mark down to the inside, side by side with Travis. Mark blowing by the number 18 of Travis Browder.
Well, in that instance, Travis, he pretty much knew what was going on, and he didn't want to use up his equipment, so he let the number 3 go by, and he's going to be content just kind of following him around for a few laps, saving his tires.
Mark Jackson at 1.5 seconds back off of our race leader. Travis Browder at 1.7, Jason Russo at 2.3. Moving on back a little deeper into the field, taking a look at Pat Boucher. John Pansula back here.
Scott, we're starting to see some wear on the tires now, and guys are starting to move up the racetrack a little bit. So now we're starting to get into the part of the run where we'll start to see the drivers start to really make a difference here.
Side-by-side racing with James Brown and David Casey back here for position 11. Coming up on Donald Stewart. James Brown with a big run on Donald Stewart. Very tight race in between James Brown and Dave Acacia here on lap 63 of 125 at our halfway point.
Ow! James feel good on the outside of Dave Acacia going into turn 1 there. James taking a high line there, and Dave can keep his car on. He wants to come up, but he can't. And he's he's going to slide back in. So David Casey got the position on Mr. I Feel Good.
He will be back. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Tell you a little bit about Cora and their Sunday Money Series. Racing Sundays of the month, except for the KMA pad race. They do take that time off to come over and race in the KMA pad race. But they race for actually money, Greg, which is like really, really cool. Last year gave out into the thousands of dollars. Check them out on Sunday in their Sunday Money Series. That is Championship Online Racing Association. And right now, James Brown really trying his best to get around the number 31 of Anthony Poston and the number 20 of David Acacia. But right at just about 3 wide, almost going 3 wide right there.
And the battle is heating up back here in a position right now. The tires are worn, and these guys are sliding around a little bit. It takes just one mistake to kind of ruin it, but right now these guys are showing exceptional discipline, and they're getting it done.
Lee Staples on the tail end of this little pack here with James and Anthony. Anthony losing a little bit of momentum up in that outer lane. James Brown coming by. Anthony picking it back up. Lee Staples in the number 64 trying to work his way around the number 31.
Yeah, 31 is kind of pinned up high right now, and I'm not sure if his car is working to his liking or not, but he can't keep it down consistently on the bottom, but he's able to fall in behind the 00 of James Brown.
Gary Whitmer Jr. back in 14th position on the rear end of Lee Staples. Gary Whitmer, a recent winner in one of the KMA huge events, the If You Ain't Ordnance, You Ain't Shit, held just last weekend. That was a big win for Gary Whitmer Jr., our sponsor for tonight's race in our Monday Night Mania series. Owner of GW Graphics. Right now looking at 8.7 back for Gary Whitmer. Still not out of it in no way, shape, or form. And the way these guys are driving, Greg, we could be nearing green flag pit stops.
Well, right now, just as I'm going to knock on some more wood. Just as I've predicted, these guys are kind of settling down. They know what the outer limits of their cars can do. And not exceeding it. So I think now that we're gonna see these guys come down to what they're gonna do here, where they're gonna make adjustments to their driving styles, to be able to save tires for late in the run, or whatever strategy they are going to employ. But I think we're gonna see those green flag pit stops here a lot sooner than later.
Now I want to pay attention to some lap times because I'm really, really curious. And I know we've got at least one fan out there very, very curious. I want to look at some of the lap times being put down by Ryan Kuhn because he is strengthening that lead. He is now up to 1.8. Now, last lap he ran was a 31.775. We're going to stay on with Ryan so that we can take a look at his laps times because they should be definitely decreasing. They obviously are for Mark Jackson and Travis Browder. That lap, he ran a 31.869. A little bit of time off right there. Looking at speeds of 168, 172, 177, 170, 182, 185. Got it up to 185 at peak.
But he's already down to 159 in the middle of the corner before he comes off, and he's doing about 181 as he's crossing the start-finish line. So, once again, extremely disciplined. He's entering the corner high and using some of the part of the racetrack right now that is a lot cooler for his tires.
Last lap of a 31.862. Nary hardly a difference in time.
Consistency.
Very consistent. Ryan Kuhn pulling a 31.937 that time. Lap time starting to drop. Taking a look in comparison to Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson running a 31.991. Mark Jackson at 1.9 seconds back off of Ryan Kuhn here on lap 73 of 125.
You know, Mark is he's a driver that just kind of lurks around. You know he's back there, but he's not threatening you, but you know he's there. Eventually, if you're not in your game, Mark is going to be not only on your bumper, but he's going to be passing you.
Travis Browder back in third position. Travis Browder running laps of a 32.069. Ryan and Mark in the 31.9s. Travis in the 32.0s. Travis Browder a little bit slower than Mark Jackson and Ryan Kuhn. Travis Browder currently sitting at 3.5 seconds back off of our race leader.
You know, out in clean air, I think, you can set your pace and whatnot, and now that Travis doesn't have the lead, he's kind of fallen back on some of his old strategies. Hopefully, he's waiting on those green flag pit stops and the pit cycles to begin, and letting race strategy kind of play itself out. He normally is very good when he's out front, but it's always interesting to see when good drivers get back to the second or third and how their strategy unfolds during a race when you got people ahead of you.
Jason Russo sitting back in fourth place tonight. Now, Jason Russo is probably our biggest mover of the night. Currently in fourth position. Jason started out here tonight in position 22. Not even sure Jason Russo chose to qualify and has worked his way up past two cautions to position 4. Now, that in itself, that is a feat.
Well, I tell you what, it doesn't surprise me at all, Scott. Our Tuesday night sponsor with Pro Automotive, Jason Russo, he's one of those guys that's always there. You may not see him early in the run, But if you do, you're in for a long day. He's just out there. He's just turning laps and being as consistent as possible. And he's currently logged in a 4th position.
Jumping back to position 5, we've got Ronald Hartfeld, 7.4 seconds back. Good racing here between John Pansula and Sean Dewar in that number 62. Now, John Pansula started 9th. He's currently is in 6th position. Good friends with James Brown and Alan Larson and the guys from Cora. John not in a very bad spot at all, but you don't want to be dropping too many seconds back.
We're far enough in a run right now where, I think some people are actually thinking about getting tires. And you got the other guys out there saying, I can go 5, 6 extra laps. Some of these guys may fall into the latter category. They may be just waiting to cycle through a set of pit stops, and maybe they'll short pit to try to gain some time. Once again, we're at the point of the race where 81 laps in, and time's getting kind of short, so strategy's going to have to unfold pretty quick.
David Casey is sitting back in position 8 in the number 20, kind of by himself right now. James Brown in that same situation for position 9. Anthony Poston, 11.9 seconds back. Gary Whitmer Jr. for 11th, and Reagan Parent back in 12th. And all of these drivers, they are just completely spaced out. Gary Whitmer Jr. going into pit row. Green flag pit stop for Gary Whitmer Jr.
And we'll see if he drags anybody else down pit road here. That's usually the beginning of the cycle there of green flag pit stops, and the time gained on new tires, it can be substantial.
So far, Gary Whitmer Jr., the only driver into pit row here on lap 82 of 125. But we're going to keep a close eye on our race leader, Ryan Kuhn. Should be going into pit row very soon. Ryan Kuhn still strengthening that lead up to 2.3 seconds on Mark Jackson.
Oh my goodness, Ryan is on a rail right now. He's kind of got himself dialed in, and he's pulling small increments of time on the second place driver of Mark Jackson, but we still have those green flag pit stops coming up here as everything is green to this point.
Looking at a few of our drivers that are laps down, Pat Rouchet sitting back in 12th position, 1 lap down. Donald Stewart, position 13, 1 lap down, as well as the number 64 of Lee Staples. Ivan Garcia, 1 lap down. Gary Whitmer Jr. recently pitted, 1 lap down. Now, a few of these drivers, Greg, that have gone 1 lap down, it is possible, like Gary Whitmer Jr., they went into pit row and we didn't catch it.
And that may be a distinct possibility as well, given the amount of time that Ryan's been pretty much on the track. Some drivers may have opted to come in to, grab tires in their last stop of the night, early, just to be sure that they can get it out the way, and hoping on different circumstances dictating the race, i.e. a caution, hot dog wrapper on the track or what have you, to dictate where they fall. So pitting early in this instance is basically a strategy call on their part, and we'd have to wait and see how that strategy unfolds.
Now, I tell you what, I am looking at Pat Rouchet, first driver, 1 lap down, and I do believe that is the case because Pat Rouchet is moving his way around drivers that are on the lead lap. So Pat Rouchet, I'm thinking he is on fresh tires and a full tank of fuel. With 39 to go, he may indeed have pulled out something smart here.
Indeed. I mean, he's blowing by these guys like they're standing still right now. And as I've said before, the amount of time gained on fresh tires versus used tires it can be substantial. And right now, Pat's doing a good job of just mowing down cars and passing them as he approaches them.
David Casey in pit row as we speak. Ryan Kuhn still out on that track, and he is up to 2.8 seconds ahead of Mark Jackson. On lap 87 of 125, 38 laps to go, 3 lead changes, 2 cautions totaling out 8 laps.
Wow, Jason Russo just had a real anomaly happen to his car. He washed way up the racetrack as the 9 car of Pat Rusha came to pass him. I'm sure he's back on his grind right now, but it just looked like he had a major problem there for a moment.
Well, he's actually in a very good spot here in 3rd position, 8.3 seconds back.
All right, I'm hearing some chatter over the radio that the 18 and maybe our race leader will be making pits very soon.
Travis Browder into pit row. Now talk to us about the ins and outs of pit row.
Pit road here in Atlanta can be kind of slick if you're not careful. You need to be, careful coming in. You can't really be too ultra aggressive, and if you are, you'll find yourself in the grass or getting a speeding penalty, or possibly even looping your car, which is the worst case scenario in that instance. So easy on, easy off as Travis Browder's on pit road getting his tires changed. You got all 4 of them changed, and he's exiting pit road.
Mark Jackson in and out of pit row, already back out onto that track. Jason Russo going into pit row. Green flag pit stops, always a lot of fun to watch out here at any track we go to, but oftentimes they're hard to come by. John Pansula, pit row stop as well. That'll put Sean Dewar and Reagan Parrott out on that front line.
I'm curious as to find out as to where Pat Rusha is going to fall out after this cycle of pit stops, because he had a lot of momentum and he was putting a lot of time on guys that were on old tires, and I'm kind of curious as to find out where he's going to fall out after this cycle of pit stops.
Well, right now he is in 3rd position, 24 seconds back, with the number 19 of Ryan Kuhn just blowing past him absolutely like he was sitting still. Just unbelievable the speed that the number 19 seems to have under that hood tonight.
Well, he's, like I said, I've been keeping an eye on this guy for a while, and he's on a mission. And he's doing a very good job. He was in and out of pit road in a very efficient manner. And he's back out there extending his lead as we speak.
Ryan Kuhn, 14 seconds back off of our race leader. Our race leader, Reagan Parrott. And Reagan Parrott making his way into pit row for a green flag pit stop.
And by the time the 17 and the 62 cycle through, Ryan should have about maybe a 2 or 3 second lead on Pat. And everyone else is at least, wow, it's pretty significant. So timing is everything, as they say.
Ryan Kuhn out there on that front line. Pat Rusha sitting in 2nd position, 3.3 seconds back. Donald Stewart sitting at 7.9 back. Travis Browder at 8.5. Lee Staples sitting at 10 back. Lee Staples rounding out our top 5 on lap 93 of 125 with 31 laps to go.
Well, Ryan obviously did a great job getting in and off of pit road in a very good fashion. Was able to locate that 9 car, which I had my eye on. Pretty much got around him and drove away.
Taking a look at our field from the eye in the sky, we've got Ryan Kuhn up here in front. Pat Rusha, 2 drivers separating Pat Rusha and Ryan Kuhn, but also 5.6 seconds back. Travis Browder 8.7 seconds back for third position. Donald Stewart, 10.4 back. Lee Staples at 12 back. David Casey at 12.7 back. A little bit of action back here with Dave and Jason Russo, teammates, running forward, kicking asphalt. Jason Russo had a little bit of a run there on the number 20 of David Casey. "13 drivers back onto that lead lap. Mark Jackson, our 13th driver, sitting in the number 3 tonight, 22 seconds back. I think pit row must have taken Mark Jackson out of the game. Anthony Poston in position 12. Sean Dewar, position 11. Gary Whitmer Jr. sitting back in position 10 tonight. Edward Bray, position 14th, first driver, 1 lap down, running for Black Talon Racing. Reagan Parent, 1 lap down, position 15. And James O.O. Brown, position 16. Ivan Garcia is still out running, 2 laps down, position 17. Richard Dix at 3 down. Joel Guy sitting at 15 laps down in the number 91. Having a little bit of a struggle out here for Joel Guy. Faster traffic coming up on Joel Guy. Joel Guy making his way off track, possibly making his way into pit row for a green flag pit stop. Joel Guy having a hard hit on the right side of the number 91 City, passing up his stop a little bit. Ryan Kuhn, position 1, 9.3 seconds ahead of Travis Browder. Jason Russo sitting in 3rd position, 24 laps to go. This is our opening week, our opening night of Atlanta week. Check us out tomorrow night, TNT Tuesday Night Trucks. Atlanta for 125 laps in the Chevy Silverados and Toyota Tundras, brought to you by Jason Russo and Pro Automotive. Tonight's race brought to you by GW Graphics. Gary Whitmer helping us keep the lights on here on our Monday night series.
Scott, I'm so impressed with what Ryan Kuhn's been able to do from his starting position of 15th. He's got a 9-second lead on the second place car, Travis Browder. Jason Russo, of course, always in the picture in 3rd position, 14 seconds off the pace.
And you know, Travis is pretty fast driver within himself. Mark Jackson, I think, might have had a little bit of pit road difficulty, as he has dropped back to position 10, but up about 4 positions than when we last checked on him. Gary Whitmer Jr. has dropped down to 12th position. With 21 to go, let's get a quick look at our current running order. There it is, folks. Ryan Kuhn, Travis Browder, Jason Russo, Dave Acacia, and John Pansula. Sean Dewar, Lee Staples, Ronald Hartfeld, Donald Stewart, Mark Jackson, our top 10.
Anthony Posted and Gary Whitmer Jr. are 11th and 12th as their last cars on the lead lap.
Reagan Parent appears to be the first driver one lap down, as well as James Brown, Edward Bray, Pat Rouchet, Ivan Garcia, and Richard Dix. Joel Guy, 18 laps down. Now, we do know that Joel Guy has been having some recent personal computer items, which within the little simulation that we live in, we're going to call that engine problems. So Joel Guy is struggling with his vehicle tonight, possibly to even get it to start up the right way.
I'm sure Joel has probably fired everybody at his engine shop. He's not one to take a lot of failures very often, so I'm sure he's probably in the recruitment stage for a new pit crew. This boy knowing Joel.
Definitely will be up half the night in the garage trying to figure out exactly what is going on. So at this point in time, Greg, do you think Ryan Kuhn has got it signed, sealed, and delivered?
At this point, I can't help but to say yes. He's pretty much driven the wheels off that car tonight, unless there's a restart of some sort. Here on lap 109 of 125, we're looking at our race winner.
Jason Russo sitting at 14.8 seconds back. Currently 12 drivers on that lead lap. Gary Whitmer Jr. sitting in 12th position. Want to give our sponsor, Gary Whitmer and GW Graphics, a big shout out for helping us out on Monday nights. That'll actually be a pretty good finish for Gary Whitmer out here. I tell you, you get out on these mile tracks, these mile and a halfers, and you step off of that speedway. We've got a spinner off into the distance. Green, we're still green flag.
Yeah, he was far enough on the inside of the racetrack. He did not come up into the race line, so no caution will be thrown.
That would have been a heartbreaker for Ryan and Travis and Jason if a caution would have come out. Because I tell you what, even a third place out here is nothing to scoff at. Smoking driver making his way into pit row.
You know, any position in the top 5 in a race like this is a position well earned. No shame whatsoever. Basically, they were just, had it put on them tonight by a guy that came in, was prepared, and looks like he's ready to go for the 2018 season.
I know Travis is very excited about our upcoming season. Travis, a very excitable young fellow. Love talking to Travis.
Oh my goodness, he's a great guy to talk to, beginning, finish, and end of the races. Always entertaining, and the scary part about it is he's still learning.
He will one day make pros, I do believe.
I have no doubt about it, and that's the one thing that I can say about myself, that if I had the time, you can read my racing profile. The last sentence, the last line of it is said, if I had time to do this. I've been racing for a very, very long time, and I see talent come and I see talent go. But Travis is a guy that I swear on the stack of Bibles right now, as God is my witness, he keeps doing what he's doing right now. He will wind up pro. And he will be a representative of our league like no other.
Without a doubt, true words right there. Now, a lot of these drivers actually bring real-life experience onto the track. We know that Ronald Klein has got real-life experience, as well as Joel Guy, Ryan Kuhn, Mitchell Reeves, just to gain a few. And I tell you what, that has got to be some sort of an advantage right there when you can bring real-life experience to the simulation.
Oh, absolutely. they have more of an intimate relationship with setups and what kind of feel they're looking for. Their driving styles are their own, but these guys are looking for a certain feel. Once they obtain it, they want to keep it going. They want to repeat it. So these guys have a built-in advantage of having real-world experience under their belt to know and how to be able to react to changes as they come about.
Mark Jackson in position 8, recently passing Lee Staples and lap traffic. Mark Jackson still a man on a mission. Very strong position 8th, trying to get up to Ronald Hartfield with 10 to go. Not so sure that's going to happen. Mark may have to settle down for an 8th position tonight.
And we still got a few laps to go here. Mark's on a mission. I'm sure he's probably upset by the pit road mistake that he made. So he's driving the wheels off of this thing, trying to make up as many positions as possible.
Ronald Hartfield in 7th position at 22 seconds back. John Pansula sitting in 6th. Very strong 6th position, racing it out with Sean Dewar, 19 seconds back off of our race leader.
And being that this is the first race of the 2018 season, these guys that are in the top 5, top 10 are going to be very, very happy with their beginnings. It's a 12-race season, so you need, and every point is going to count. So you need to really be in it to win it. So these starts by these guys tonight, I'm sure they probably want it better, but at the same time, it's points going towards a long season.
Well, and that's exactly what they got to keep in mind. Like with Jason Russo, the ultimate goal is to win the season. If he's 3rd tonight, he has no problem with that. He's looked ahead on that season, and he's thinking there about laps, race 6 or race 7. Hey, there's 2 tracks that I'm really strong at right there, and I know that track Travis Orion may not be so strong at. So you got to keep the ultimate 12-week race winner in your mind.
Oh yes, absolutely. You have to manage points and be able to consistently, finish well in a very abbreviated, what I consider a 12-race season is abbreviated, so you can break that down into 4 quarters if actually thirds, I should say. The first 3 races, you raise points, and if we had a chase format here, that would be something that you would consider. If we had stage racing here, that would be something you would consider. But right now, the way that we're currently structured is consistency will reward you in the long run.
And just a reminder, Greg, these drivers are working for a handmade with love quilt, black and white checkered with your name on it. The winner of each Monday, Tuesday, and Friday night series will receive this handmade quilt by Becky Whitmer. Now, in the event that a driver wins Monday and Tuesday, well, in the Tuesday series, that quilt would be awarded down to position 2. So 1 quilt per person.
Oh, we got a caution out.
Looking at the number 72 of Ivan Garcia. Now, unfortunately, that'll be the second one on Ivan Garcia tonight. Same thing, just that ass end coming out. This is lap 121 of 125.
Oh, I don't know if we'll get another one.
This may seal the deal. Tough break there for Ivan Garcia. Tell you what, that 72 has just taken a kicking tonight, and I'm not so sure after that it's going to keep on ticking.
Ivan. Oh, he's a great driver, and yeah, his car's a little beat up right now. It's definitely worse for wear, but he will get back out there. He will get the repairs fixed and get it back out there. I don't care if it's 2 laps to go. He's a trooper. He will go.
He is definitely a trooper indeed. And one of our oldest drivers, one of our longest standing members out here with KMA Racing. Now I am going to have to pull an admin up in the booth because I want to get the early jump on whether or not this race is over, because at this point in time, Greg, I'm thinking this race just might be over.
It may be, given that they're lap cars. If they pit, it's all in iRacing's hands, but I think it may be over.
How about it, Edward Bray? Have you got a copy?
Copy, Scott.
Well, I tell you what do you think about our first night out here at Atlanta in our new season?
It was an interesting race. Happy to see that there was some green flag racing and green flag pit stops, but overall, I guess it was a good race.
We know you got in a little bit of trouble earlier on with contact between you and James Brown, putting you both one lap down, but I tell you what, you have fought the good fight out here. But tell me this, is it over? Are you going to go back to one flag shootout?
I do believe it's over, Scott. We're at lap 123. We're still pacing, so I do believe it's over.
All right, that's what we were thinking up here. All right, I will talk to you post-race. Good job tonight, Edward Bray.
Thanks, Scott.
So, all right, Greg, I'm going to pull Jason Russo down. I'm going to let you talk to him. He is in third position tonight.
10-4.
How about it, Jay? You got a copy. This is Scott and Greg up in the booth.
I got you, Scott.
Jason, good run tonight, buddy.
Thanks, Greg. A lot of fun tonight.
As sponsor of the Tuesday night series, we were sitting back here talking in the booth. Sorry, apologize for my Sheltie barking in the background. We were talking during the race of how consistent you were given your starting position, and basically when you got where you were, you kind of just stayed there all night. Describe to us how your run went tonight.
Actually went pretty good. Got a good run there at the first half of the race and was able to maintain track position by pit strat.
Well, as always, I tell everybody every time I get an opportunity to be in a booth that your consistency alone is very important to your success. And as like I said, if you guys need some work done on your vehicles, I'm telling you, go to see Jason Russo over at Pro Automotive. They know how to get it done for you.
Thanks, Greg. I just want to give a big shout out to all the guys over at Kicking Asphalt, David Casier and Kevin Scott Nelson. I know he's watching tonight, and all you guys that watch these races, and big shout out to you guys up in the booth. Thank you.
All right, thank you there, Jason. Good job tonight, bringing it home in third position.
Good job, brother.
All righty, Greg, I'm now going to hand Travis over to you. Here he is. How about it, Travis?
Hey, Scott, how are you? Hey, Greg, how you doing?
Hey, buddy, doing all right. How's your night tonight, buddy?
That was an awesome race. Green flag pit stops. What an amazing long green flag run we had, and congratulations to Ryan on the win, and Jason Russo for third, and myself for second place. This Austin Energy Camry was good. It was tight at times, a little bit loose on the exit. You had to start driving the car on the long runs. It was so much fun. It's like an ice skate. But I tell you what, I had a lot of fun. We are all winners tonight. I can't wait for the next one.
I expected nothing less from you, Travis. But let me ask you a quick question here. First race of the new year. Ryan Kuhn won the race. How are you going to deal with him moving forward through the other 11 races of this year?
It's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully we'll get some good, clean, hard racing throughout the season, and looking forward to a great season on a high note with a big, positive, good attitude and a big smile on everyone's face. So we'll see what happens as we get through this year in 2018. I'm looking forward to it.
Once again, Travis, I expected nothing less from you, brother. Good luck in the 2018 season, and keep on logging laps, buddy. And you finished second tonight. And guess what? In the 12-race season, I've mentioned to a lot of our viewers during the race that consistency is going to win this championship. And you got a great start this year, and good luck to the rest of the season.
Thank you, Greg. Thanks, Scott. Thank you all fans for watching. Y'all have a good night.
Good job, Travis. All righty, how about it, Ryan Kuhn? Have you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, I tell you what, you beat him racing. Can you beat that interview? Talk to me.
That was so much fun. I don't think I've ever had that much fun in an Xfinity Series car in my life. I mean, it was so fun, just slipping and sliding, and it felt like an ice skating rink. And man, that was fun. I was actually struggling in the long run, and I was getting really loose. But all in all, great night for me. Great few weeks. I've won some big races the past few weeks, and I'm very proud of myself. I'd like to thank my team, race agent. Anyone can join their Discord. They're doing paying sponsorships for sim racers everywhere, paying over $100,000 in sponsorships for the year. And huge thanks to them, Glenn, Grant, everyone on that team, my teammate Axum, Thomas Axum, Reagan Parents in this race as well. He did a great job. Everyone that helped me out tonight, it was awesome.
Alrighty, well, I tell you what, enough said. I think you covered all those bases. Ryan Kuhn tonight, leading out 76 laps, coming out on top. Congratulations, Ryan Kuhn.
I'd also like to thank you guys in the booth. It was awesome tonight.
All right, good deal. We'll make you famous.
All right, thank you guys.
All right, Ryan Kuhn bringing it home tonight with a huge win out here, Greg. All right, I'm going to post up some race results. Greg, give us your synopsis of tonight's race.
Well, the race overall was great. Of course, you know, in best world scenarios, we want to have a green flag run start to finish. But, you know, the racing gods decided that wasn't going to be the case tonight. But in between all of that, we saw some great racing and some great competition with the KMA drivers tonight. I feel that once we get this season underway and with a lot of practice and with this new build, I think this can be a very successful season.
I tell you what, it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, next week in that ABC order, we are heading off to Auto Club. Going to have a lot of fun out there at Auto Club. What do you think we're in store for tomorrow night with the Chevy Silverados and the Toyota Tundras out here at Atlanta?
It's kind of, I think it's going to probably be a lot of the same. I think there's going to probably be a bunch of drivers that are going to be a lot closer together. So drivers are going to probably really need to pay attention to, actually, I can't believe I'm saying this, drafting here in Atlanta. Because that can get you in a lot of trouble as well. The tires still are going to wear like any other racetrack, so I'm hoping and praying that you know, a little more discipline will come, because I know the natural tendency in a truck is, you know, oh, I can, you know, max this thing straight out. Well, I got somebody I can push. Well, maybe that's not the best strategy with this particular build, and that may cause you and a lot of other drivers a lot of problems. So once again, I think patience is going to be at the forefront. But I really think the guy's going to put on a great race for the fans tomorrow night.
All righty, copy that. Good stuff. Looking forward to it. I thank you for your time up here in the booth helping me out, Greg.
Hey, no problem. Anything I can do for KMA, especially when I'm not on a racetrack.
All right, well, we hope to see you out on that racetrack very soon.
10-4, Scott, and had fun, buddy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Greg McClendon on side, Scott Kolovic on lead, and this is our Monday Night Mania series. We'll see you tomorrow night in our Tuesday Night Trucks, and we are out of here.